Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so this is. I want to be a screenwriter. Should I move to LA? Okay, well, let's discuss. Okay, shall we? All right, great. Um, okay, so you know, I've spoken to several writers about this stuff, and sometimes they're like, "Dude, should I move out, dude? What do you think?" And I'm like, "Well, describe your life to me. Where you at right now?" And they're like, "Well, I'm in like Iowa or something." I'm like, "What's it like for you? What's your house like? All that kind of stuff." And they're like, "Well, do you have a good job?" They're like, "Yeah, I have a good job, man. I got my 401k, like, but I love writing, and." My house, it's like a 3-2. We got a pool, um, big yard for the kids to play. Oh, so you have kids, all right, cool. You got like 3 kids, okay, great. You got a wife. The grandparents are nearby, so you can drop the kids off over there to have your like private time. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. Uh, so, so so yeah, you know that's going to be a lifestyle change. And how much you planning on selling it, or what's going on there? Yeah, I would sell and come out, 1031 it. Cool. All right, smart. Not paying those taxes. Great. But here's the thing. Unless you got a bank full of money, you're independently wealthy or something, it's going to be a lot more expensive, you know. And there was a writer on Twitter that got a pile on. This was a while ago, but got a pile on. She got a pile on over saying basically that, like, yeah, it's expensive. Like, it just is. Like, I recommend saving some money and then coming out. You know, unless you're 20 and you have no responsibilities, you're just solo, and you can throw all your shit in a backpack and go stay at a hostel, you know, do that thing right in the gutter, on your phone or something. Yeah, try that, why not? You're young, you got nothing to fucking lose. You don't got a whole fucking family and shit already. Yeah, try it. But if you're already somewhat established in your life and all that, here's some prices. Okay? This is realtor.com. These aren't my numbers. Okay? Um Median prices. Okay. West Hollywood, 2 million. Santa Monica, 1.8 million. Beverly Hills, 5 million. Median prices, remember that. Hollywood Hills West, meaning like the Bird Streets, kind of above Doheny, if we're not familiar, above the Rainbow Room, that kind of shit, if you're not familiar with LA. 3 million for that. Tres, okay, so Sherman Oaks, if you go over the hill. Picture the Hollywood sign, if you don't know where that is, go over that. On the backside, 1.4 million, and then drive through a bunch of traffic coming back, okay? Malibu, 3.9 million. Median prices, okay? Okay, maybe now you're like, okay, now that I cashed out my 401, cashed out my savings, all this shit, fuck it, I'm gonna rent because I want to write. That's my fucking dream, man. Okay, let's look at some of the situations. Renting in LA, I mean like, if you can see the sign, that's the LA we think of, it's in that vicinity, right below there, somewhere around there, Melrose, all that kind of shit. You're gonna face some weird situations. You're gonna face situations where, I went to one spot because it'd been a minute since I rented a spot, and the price was decent. This was right off of Melrose, and it was 3,900 a month. I'm like, that's a deal, And by the way, square footage 900 square feet, but it was the space was used good, so it didn't feel like it was a little tiny box. I get there, 60 people, okay? And so I get my application, I go grab a burger I fill it out, screenshot it, and send it back. And they're like, email it. Thanks for, applying. It's already taken. 30 minutes later. Okay. Another spot I go, this was down below Sunset. It was, right by Bank of America right there, right? And this spot's kind of cool, better than this one, kind of cool, $5,800 a month, okay? So, I'm the first person there, and they open the door. Hey, thanks for coming. Sorry to inform you, it's taken. I'm like, what? I'm the first person in line, And they're like, yeah, we made the deal last night, okay? People move on this shit quick. What's another one? Another one, this was below, it was off Santa Monica and La Cienega, right below the LA Fitness right there. Right below, the first house right there, you can go Google it. It just had a weird layout. And I forget what it was. It might have been like 55 or something, I forget. $6,000, I don't know, I forget. But it just had a weird layout. It was very dark and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling this. There's no usable outside space, Plus I'm right behind the gym, directly behind the gym. So I'm like, nah, this ain't for me, dude. What's another one? Another one was, it was off, did I say that one already? I forget. La Cienega and Santa Monica. It was a cool house kind of thing, but the two backyards, there was two, I didn't realize this, two houses faced each other and you share a backyard. It's basically a communal area back there. I'm just like, no, this is not the kind of privacy I'm looking for. Another one, it was in the Hollywood Hills, but more east, and great view, of the city, that Hollywood look. But the realtor is like, hey, I forgot, I should mention that behind this door right here, this locked door, it always stays locked. The owner is bi-coastal and lives here, every couple months, for like a month at a time. But he's real nice and he won't bother you. And it's like $6,000. I'm like, fuck this place. No thanks, I'm not looking to get into a weird situation. You'll run into shit like this when you're renting. And this shit ain't cheap necessarily, Another one I looked at, this one's kind of funny. I looked at and it was like this kind of weird situation where you walk up these stairs and there's kind of like an esplanade, like a walkway, and then there's like apartments, kind of lofts, but the window's right there, you know what I mean? And you know who lives there, actually? I didn't know it, but I saw it on his video, Max Landis, okay? So I was about to be Max Landis' neighbor. Isn't that fucking funny? But I passed on this place because if you open your window, your neighbor could be right there. You know what I mean? Like 2 feet away from you. No, like I need to be able to walk around half naked sometimes and be able to open my windows. So no, I passed on that place. So that's the thing, like you're gonna have to change your lifestyle. If you're coming from out of town, or out of state, I should say, into LA, yeah, you're gonna face some high prices. And that's just the way it works. And especially if you wanna buy something, a lot of this shit, the investors are buying them. And they're doing cash offers, right? And they are, they're waiving inspection. So that's what you're going up against. That's why it's hard as fuck to get a house. Oh, I forgot to point that out. They're waiving inspection, and their earnest money. If they don't like it and they go look at it and they take their guys in there, their team, and the foundation's fucked up or something, they're like, fuck it. I don't care about my $3,500. Keep it. I don't give a shit. I'll go on to the next deal. That's why it's fucking hard to get one of the reasons why it's hard to get a house in LA. And look at this shit too. How many for sale? These are in the 200s. 238, 227, 282, 228, 215. Those are the houses on the market. There's not a lot of inventory for 4 million people. Okay? That's why prices are fucking sky high and all of that. So my recommendation is if you're in another state right now, especially if you're a feature writer and you got a great life and there's your whole fucking family smiling and laughing, stay put, man. At least for now. Sell something, we hope for millions and shit, and then come out. You don't need to be here for that. TV, maybe. But if you got a family, you're gonna have to super downgrade. And it might be hell. And you might get a divorce. Okay? Later.